Alrighty, good afternoon. We're going to get to the last um, set of systems before your test. No, I'm not saying that to scare you, like your test is next week or something. So it won't be until after spring break. So, um, but this is just our last um, body system that we'll cover before the test. So your test will just be over anatomy, terms, the types of tissues, the integumentary system, skeletal system, and the muscular system. So, okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. So your muscle tissue, to kind of refresh, since it's been a while since we've gone over muscle tissue, this is tissue that's designed to contract, so it can elongate and shorten. Um, the individual muscles are going to be made up of muscle cells, and we actually call these muscle fibers. And all muscle is going to contain the protein. You're going to get that protein from the food that you eat. Body will break that down into those amino acids, and then those will be picked up by your muscle cells to build more muscle cells. Specifically, your muscles are going to be made up of myosin and actin. So the filaments of myosin and actin. So because your muscles do so much work, they need a constant supply of oxygen, which means that they're going to be very, very high in blood supply. And if you remember, if you are high in blood supply, you're going to be considered highly vascular. So they need, like I said, they need a good supply of oxygen because of all of the work that they're going to do. They're going to need energy to contract. So they're going to have to go through cellular respiration. The only way they can do that is if they've got that oxygen supply, since you need oxygen to go through cellular respiration. Depending on the activity level of your muscle, that will determine how much or how many blood vessels that muscle will have. We briefly talked about this before, but we'll go ahead and revisit it really quick. There's 3 types of muscle tissue. You've got your skeletal muscle tissue. This is attached to your bones, and you can control these muscles, so it's considered to be voluntary movement. Your bones are going to connect to your muscles through a tendon. So you've got your actual muscle, and then at the very ends of your muscles, you've got this thick, dense connective tissue called a tendon, and that's what actually attaches to the bone. So the muscle itself doesn't, that connective tissue of the tendon will. So ligaments connect bone to bone, and tendons are going to connect muscle to bone. So that's going to be like your biceps, triceps, your glutes, your obliques, all that stuff. Everything that's going to help you move. Your smooth muscle, if you remember, is going to line your internal organs, and you can't really control that. So it's going to line, like, for instance, the inside of your esophagus. That's how food's going to get pushed down into your stomach, is that smooth tissue is going to contract and push it down, kind of like how you take your toothpaste tube, if you have a toothpaste tube, and you can kind of squeeze it and push the toothpaste along to kind of empty out the tube. I know some of the toothpaste tubes now are like hard plastic and not that softer plastic that you can push the toothpaste down, but that's basically how your esophagus works. And then the third type of muscle tissue is your cardiac tissue, which is going to be found inside of your heart, or it's going to make up your heart. And this is involuntary muscle also. You don't have to think about controlling your heart rate. It just beats, which is a good thing. Okay, in order to move, you've got to have your bone or your muscles. They're going to attach to two different bones normally. So your muscle, so we'll take your bicep for example. Your bicep muscle has two ends. One end attaches to the top of your top of your humerus, and then the other end is going to attach down to your radius and ulna, and that's what's going to allow you to flex your arm up, kind of like when you pump your arms up, like, oh, look at those guns, to show off your bicep. That's you've got the two ends there that are attached to two different bones. And then when your muscle, and you can feel it when your muscle contracts, when you bring that your forearm up towards your shoulder, you can feel your bicep contracting. So you feel it kind of getting shortened. One end of that muscle, of that bicep muscle, is going to be called the origin, meaning this is the bone that it comes out of. That's called the origin. So the other end then is going to be attached to a different bone, and it's going to be attached to the bone that it's going to move. So for our bicep, and that bone, that the second one that it's attaching to, that it's moving, that's called the insertion end. Okay, your bicep, for example, its origin is going to be up on the humerus because it's attached there, and your humerus isn't going to move. What's going to move is going to be your radius and your ulna when you bring that forearm towards your shoulder blade, and you can kind of feel that muscle contract. So the insertion of your bicep is going to be on your radius and ulna. Okay, so two different ends. If you take an anatomy physiology class in college, there's a really good chance you're going to have to know the origin and insertions of some muscles. So I'm not going to make you know those. So just understand that for all of your skeletal muscles, you're going to have two ends, one being the origin, one end that's stationary, and then the other end that's causing the movement, that's going to be your insertion end. Okay. Last one. Talking about how your muscles move. When the muscle is going to contract, the insertion moves towards the origin. Okay, and then you get the movement occurring, which we just kind of talked about there. Now, the thing to make your arms move, you often, or your arms just in general, to make your body move, you often have your muscles in pairs, because the one muscle is going to pull it one way and the other muscle is going to pull it the other way. Okay, so these are called flexor and extensor muscles. So the example I have is your flexor muscles allow a joint to bend, like your bicep. So when you, again, bring your arm all the way up to try to pump some iron there and show off the guns, that's your bicep is the flexor. When you pull it back down, you can feel, when your arm goes straight again, you can feel your tricep now tightening. Okay, that's the extensor. So causing the joint to move, that's going to be a flexor. Trying to straighten it out, that's going to be the extensor muscle. So that kind of gives you an idea about the muscular system. So again, don't forget you're going to have a quiz over the anatomy, your types of tissues, your integumentary system, and all of your skeletal system, including bones. And I'll give you a couple harder bones this time. This next time, we're gonna have that quiz on Wednesday before you leave. So for break, so I can get a quiz on there. So if you have any questions, just email me. I will try to check my mail at some point today before you guys leave school. But if not, I'll get it and email it to you tomorrow night, because I'll definitely get on tomorrow night. And, well, I guess tonight, rather. I'm filming this on Thursday. So I'll get on tonight, which is Friday night, and I'll be able to email you back. So I'll try to log on. So anyway, and if it's a dire question, just have Mrs. Sorensen text me. So, okay. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you on Monday.